This is random. Can you go throw that over there? Because I really wanted to listen to that conversation.
Sorry.
Just anywhere.
I think you told me that it broke a first sergeant's jaw.
Yeah.
I'd have loved to have broken my first sergeant's jaw too. The second one I had.
Well, the guy told him he was going to have to sign off on some choppers when they were ready to fly, and they weren't because they didn't have the parts, so they couldn't get them ready to fly. And it was going to look bad on this guy if they didn't have them ready to fly in the morning. And Danny told him he wouldn't sign his name on it. He wouldn't sign off on it because they didn't have the parts to make them go. And if he signed off on them, then they were going to go down before they could get in country, and the guys would die. And he explained that to the guy. And he said, but if you don't sign off on them, it makes me look bad. And Danny said, I'm not going to do it, and he shoved him. You don't shove Danny Davis. He shoved him, and Danny knocked him cold. And they gave him a choice. He could re-up, or he could be court-martialed. And I think the guy sent him somewhere that he thought he was going to get him killed.
Bonnie
That's what it sounded like to me. Or at least I think that's what the guy wanted to do.
There may have been some way to find out much more about him with that group that has a reunion every 2 years. You can find it on the website called Papa Smoke. One word, Papa Smoke. Or maybe he has a squadron website.
What would the squadron do?
Was it in 46s or 53s? I don't know. Do you have any of his old DD Form 214? We have a lot of paperwork.
It sounds like it.
It would be listed on his, it would show his tours of duty overseas.
Would your mama have all that stuff?
You can go all right to the VA office. David
David Burnell can find out. And Marine Corps headquarters.
Yeah. How long do they keep records?
We keep them forever,
Yeah.
Okay.
but I can't ask for them. I'm not next to kin.
Oh.
One
So
thing
your
that-
mama would have to ask.
Nope. His widow, if she's not remarried, or his children.
Okay.
So I just need to get Ron to.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet he would do that.
That reunion is coming up again in August. I think it's in Jacksonville, Florida. If I'm doing okay, I'm going to go. And maybe I can get some better contacts. If I knew what squadron he was in, there might be somebody there.
I might have that because I've got some letters downstairs. Wouldn't that should tell me what squadron and the return address?
Yeah, it would be in his return address.
And I may have that.
Yeah.
Found the letters.
Yes. Because that's good. Oh, hey there. Still off the chair.
chairs.
Well, she's not supposed to stand in the chairs. She probably won't do it again.
Should have put her plate down there.
Oh no, she had to eat with her daddy. You think I should go in there, or you think Mutson's got it? Let me go check on her. She probably just got scared.
Where'd you find that?
This is Mutson's. This is Mutson's.
Where did he buy it?
He ordered it on Amazon. You want one?
I don't know, but I'd love to. I just have a need for one.
Yeah. You can record all kind of stories. You can record all kind of stories.
I talked to Marcy about that.
Yeah.
I want to record some softball games so I can look at next winter or later on this year.
How's Newberry doing? How's Newberry doing?
I'm not sure. I think they're 7-4. Sue, when you're not online, there's a lot of information you miss out on that newspapers don't cover. So I have to ask people to do a lot of my online work for me. And they say, oh, it's easy, nothing to it.
I'll be
I
happy
say,
to look up
well,
stuff.
these brain injuries are easy too, nothing to them either.
Well, I'll be happy to look up stuff for you today.
No, it's just, I know there's a lot of information out there. I think about it every day. I want to write again and tell people how much I enjoyed what they do, what they did for me.
So you're not talking about writing like you did creatively when Megan was here. You're talking about writing notes. Is that right?
Say again.
When Megan Hicks was here, you wrote a story that people still talk about because it was so intense. But that's not the kind of writing you're talking about. You're talking about writing notes. Like thank you notes and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a good way to start.
We can make one.
She must have a bump. Better eat some beets before we disappear.
Eat them all.
Whoa, that's not good. That's not good. We'll bang it with this. You got a dot.
Right on the back.
I guess you've heard me say before many times, I'm as slow as either there is.
Look, mommy's gonna put it on her head. See? That feels nice. You wanna try? Oh, that feels so good. That doesn't hurt anymore.
You know what else help? Daddy kisses help.
What that kid?
How many? Is it a 5 kiss hurt or a 2 kiss hurt?
Oh my goodness, Sarah. I can't throw things even if you're hurt. That's not nice. Ta-da!
Oh, Daddy don't put it on. Okay, Daddy don't do it.
That good?
Daddy don't do it.
Oh, it feels so
It
good.
does feel good, kind of.
Give me a cool head. Give me a cool head.
Daddy gonna do it. There's some papers down here.
You want Jabberwocky?
Fell out of my pocket.
You want my sunshine?
Over there.
Yeah, that's some stuff I
You
thought
want
maybe
my sunshine?
I'll study a
You
little
want
bit.
Jabberwocky?
All right.
Find out what the
Look at
city
that
have
in
to.
the mighty
You need to let me put that
giant
on.
symbol in the way.
What's that one?
Oh, man,
Master
you word,
Word.
bro.
Oh yeah,
I think
that's
that's
important.
You wear the
I keep
Jabberwocky,
seeing
my
all
daughter.
these trees around town have been cut so severely they're gonna kill, and people think they.
Well, I'm trying to get people to cut down their Bradford pears.
She took
That'd be a good idea.
That would be a
Plant
really
something
good idea.
much better.
Because the Bradford pears are helping to pass around that fire blight, which is killing so many of the regular pears and the fruit apple trees. It'll kill fruit trees because of that fire blight. And because we have so many Bradford pears, the bees are passing it from the Bradford pears to the fruit trees. So those we need to go.
That has to be known.
I bet Judy would cut them down. She likes chopping things down.
Yeah, but this is called an ornamental.
Oh, Judy loves those.
This is one of those fake things. You see, they hybridized it with a Chinese pear that was supposed to be sterile, and it's only it's not. And when it reverts back to the Chinese pear, it has thorns on it that will actually kill the tires of a John Deere tractor.
Oh my Lord.
And it's getting out of control. But people won't stop planting them.
They do. They plant them all the time.
And it doesn't have any fruit on it.
And they're beautiful, but they smell so
They
bad.
stink like crazy.
And they
the
create-
problem is
Wreak
they're
havoc.
planted on every 100 feet. And the bees will, when the fire blight gets started, the bees will carry it everywhere, including, I lost 6 fruit trees down here. I lost the pear and apple trees I had down here to the fire blight because of a Bradford pear that's right across the street that got infected with the fire blight. And the Bradford pears are susceptible to it.
Where is that information?
Clemson Extension Service.
I
It's now
noticed-
considered an invasive plant.
I haven't
It's
seen
the
that.
new kudzu.
I haven't seen that in Birds and Blooms magazine.
That
Or anywhere
surprises me.
Hmm?
That surprises me. I would have thought Birds and Blooms would have done something.
Well, maybe I missed an article somewhere. Okay.
Bill Epps told me if I wanted to do some midnight missions, he would loan me his chainsaw.
Yeah, a lot of guys would have a lot of fun with chainsaws.
No, he's talking about to take down the Bradford pears.
Yeah.
I said, I'm scared I'd take off an arm and a leg.
I see all these crepe myrtles that people cut back so severely.
Oh.
It's a wonder they live. They still sprout a little bit, But people never get to see the true beauty of a crepe myrtle when you cut them back like that. I asked Arnold Hiller, why does the city cut them back so severely? He said, so the branches won't fall on people's cars. I said, Arnold, you have to run into a crepe myrtle with a tank or something, not. So he was in charge of the city cutting things and didn't know anything about it. It's a lot of fun to educate people who think they're educated.
It cracked me up. The city acted like they were going to go crazy if they didn't get rid of those ginkgo trees. Ginkgo trees never hurt anybody.
They're beautiful.
They're gorgeous.
Oh,
And they
Yeah.
keep talking about how they stink. They don't stink.
it's the Bradford pears.
Anyway,
We
let
go
me
on
get you
the,
an article on that.
we go on the warpath. If anything has berries on it and they fall on the sidewalk, I have to cut all that down too.
The birds like the berries. Leave them alone. Oh, but I want you to know, the thing about the dandelions? Leave them alone.
Yeah.
That got, Barbara Miller took that article and put it on the Master Gardener's website.
Good.
She did. I was really excited about that.
I've seen several articles along that line in Mother Earth News. This magazine comes out, I find every now and then. A lot of people are letting their yards grow what their yard will grow naturally without fertilizer and herbicide and pesticide and all that stuff.
You see my front yard has all that clover in it?
Hmm?
Do you see all the clover in my front yard?
Yeah.
I seeded that.
Is it red clover?
It's white clover.
Okay.
White clover. And I seeded that instead of the Bermuda. I mean, eventually it'll take over the Bermuda, which is fine with me. And it'll be green year round.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. It's just going to take it a while, but eventually it'll take over the Bermuda. And it used to drive Don and Clyde crazy. They wanted to use that broadleaf herbicide.
No.
And I'm going, no. And Don said, but when you walk out there and you've got clover, it attracts bees and you're going to step on them and get stung. I said, no, I'm not going to go barefoot in my front yard. I've got fire ants out there.
My front yard is now pretty much all clover and shamrock, and I'm really proud of it.
Yeah.
It was
Right.
hard to get it to be like that because people want to fuss at you about it, but it's finally pretty much just a blanket of clover and shamrock.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It takes it a
just
while for
love
the clover
it.
to take over, but it
Oh.
will.
It has.
It will.
I'm just pleased as I can be.
It's
beautiful.
I seeded that maybe 8-9 years ago.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And try to educate as many people as you can about what's natural and not using chemicals.
But we still mow. We have Mr. Super coming and all that.
Yeah.
The main reason for that is snakes. Because if I let it grow up high enough, we're going to get snakes, and I've got little ones to worry about with snakes. My owl is doing a good job, I think, of keeping them back, but that was the reason that we need to do that. And besides, since we're on Main Street, we don't want,
Well, that probably is a black snake,
water,
water snake.
because we have the pond back there. And we don't want to do that. We have little ones come over here and play.
I used to swim in Scotts Creek with all the snakes.
So did I. I can't believe I didn't get some sort of nuclear disease.
Those were cottonmouths.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
You just have to play the odds. That's all. You do what you can, and you can't fix everything.
We'd be natural in Australia with all those critters over there.
We would love it over there. Yeah, me and my cousin, we'd go under the bridges and like dig through the rocks where they live.
I used to
And
go under that overhead bridge
Oh, my
over the
God.
railroad tracks on Boundary Street. I used to hang out under that bridge.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we used to swim under the dock in Aunt Polly's house at the lake, and under the dock is where all the water moccasins live.
Yeah.
That's where their nests are. You know, we'd swim under the dock and we'd see them dart away, you know. Gosh, I can't believe that. But anyway,
The city was talking about taking the bridge down and not repairing it. And this,
what?
that was a
I think I
couple of
read
years
this
ago, you
somewhere.
remember that?
I read
What we
something
got to
about
do?
that.
Just have that at dead ends and let them go somewhere else.
Oh no. That's
You know,
how
there's
people,
not a brain trust on that castle.
that's how
is
people
there?
get to their houses. What on earth?
That's not a brain trust there, is there?
That was the highway department was talking about how much it would cost to fix the bridge up to standards.
So
Yeah.
fix it.
So they just said, well, it'd be easier to not fix it, just take it out.
So they figured they'd go waste some money somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's like Margaret Hunter's swimming pool. They didn't want black children and white children swimming together.
So
they
nobody
just-
can swim.
So nobody gets to swim now. That's why they quit doing any maintenance and repairs. And the minute the pipes rusted, they said, "Gotta close it." That's what happened.
It was because of that. Yeah.
Right. It was because they
Yeah.
didn't want black children and white children swimming together. So nobody gets
The
to swim.
50s and 60s were way back where we are now. A whole different new world.
It's crazy.
But we still do stupid things.
Oh yeah.
I blame it on the human race.
Yeah, we're not running very fast. That race is not running very fast sometimes.
No, we're not.
Imagine how much more efficient things will be once we've burned ourselves off the face of the earth.
I've thought that myself.
I mean, things are going to run so
Without
much
the-
more smoothly.
Without the humans, the earth would be a wonderful
God of
place.
paradise.
Yeah, it would.
Do you remember that song from Paint Your Wagon? The first thing you know, the Lord made the mountains, the Lord made the dove, and the Lord made the people, and they fixed it up good. The first thing you know. In a real sarcastic kind of way.
Sounds like a Woody Guthrie song.
No, this was actually, I think it was Lee Marvin's. It was real funny. Because Lee Marvin couldn't sing a lick. That's one of the things that made the song so funny. The first thing you know.
I think I saw that movie. I don't remember it. I think I saw it though.
Had Clint Eastwood in it.
Yeah.
He couldn't sing a lick either. But it had Nitty Gritty Dirt Band in it. And they did sing a little bit. But I Was Born Under a Wandering Star is the last song in the movie, and you've got Clint Eastwood heading west. But one of the scenes in the movie is this fella had traded his wife for some liquor heading out west. So this one guy had two wives. And so
Two wives and no liquor.
Two wives.
Oh, no.
The wife that he swapped for, the other guy gave up for the liquor, was giving this fella a hard time. So he traded this wife. Anyway, it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. And you think they're making this stuff up. And years later, I was reading in the Newberry, Annals of Newberry, and sure enough, the same thing happened here. This guy swapped his wife for somebody giving him a keg of rum.
Oh my
So
Lord.
it happened here too.
We're coming a long way, baby.
Well, I hope the woman was better
Wasn't
off.
it Far from the Madding crowd? It starts off with this man giving his wife away.
Yes.
He's in a bar.
Yes.
Got drunk, gave
But
his wife away.
You hope that those things are fictions, but evidently they're not. Evidently they're not.
Well, you know, if he give you up for a drink, you gotta think that she's probably glad to be shit up.
I was gonna say maybe she's better off
she's
than
better off.
with someone who
You
will
remember
trade her
that
for
story about the
booze.
mail order bride? This guy picks up this mail order. He lives out west. He picks up this mail order bride, and he's got a wagon, and they're going back to the farm. And the mule stumbles, and he hollers, "That's one!" And then the mule stumbles again, and he said, "That's two." And when the mule stumbles the third time, he said, "That's three." And he pulls out his shotgun. He kills the mule. And his wife, his mail order wife, said, "That's the stupidest thing I ever said." I said, "Now how in the hell are we gonna get to the farm?" He said, "That's one."
He'd just like to shoot a shotgun. Like.
Sorry, it won't be till Tuesday morning.
When I get back up Tuesday?
We're leaving Nashville at 5:30 in the morning. You guys sleep good Monday morning.
So we are going to Tuesday. Are we going to school Tuesday?
So today on the way up, we need to start brainstorming excuses for school on Monday. I thought of a good one this morning.
Monday.
What if we say, "Sorry, we couldn't come to school. Caleb's eye fell out." "Sorry, we couldn't come to school. Everybody had mud butt." So we'll think of some good excuses on the way up. I lost my marbles.
I lost 3 of my toes.
All right, we'll put that one in the book. What's a good excuse?
Because they wouldn't want to check.
But you know, that's something the kids don't do anymore, Wayne, is play marbles.
Oh my goodness.
I don't even know how.
So I'm going to be just
At recess at junior high school,
We're getting back Tuesday morning.
here we go. There might be that many marbles in a circle. And somebody would always show up with a ball bearing. You just start chipping away at it. That was the thing to do.
No bag. Oh, you could have brought your tablet.
Jimmy Bannister was really good at that. Junior high.
Well, I'm sorry, but we're not bringing all that. Don't tell me that I'm mean. You said I'm mean. I heard you say it.
I excelled.
I used to have a little bag. Remember you had your little bag of marbles?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And you used to have one that was like, had the little eagle eye in it.
So would you guys trade the marbles out?
Well, you would put them in there and whoever knocked them out got to keep the marbles.
Okay. And then what would you use the marbles for? Like, could you turn them for candy or?
No, that was marbles.
So the marbles were the end. They were it. That was the prize.
That way.
That was entertainment.
Yeah.
And your dad, yeah.
So is there like a marble hierarchy?
Well, you'd have these big bomber marbles.
Yeah, the big marble and the ball-bearing marble.
Yeah.
Those are deadly. They're kind of like the sharks of the marbles.
Yeah.
You go down to Roses and you buy marbles, you can buy your cat pistols. They don't have cat pistols in much anymore either.
I doubt it.
It's discouraged now to play with any kind of toy gun.
Well, it's discouraging to want to point a pistol at anything anymore.
Yeah.
Like on a pistol.
Yeah.
I did not excel at marbles. I excelled at playing hooky.
Did you get caught a lot?
No.
I used to watch the Little Rascals and they'd have the truant officer going around and trying to catch them playing hooky.
Was there a truant officer?
There we go.
I don't know, not around here. The Little Rascals had to be true. And they were, you know, they were an integrated group of kids because they had Karina and Buckwheat and Stymie.
Yeah. All right, we'll get that a piece of cake.
I saw a early Little Rascals, a couple episodes on Turner Classic Movies. They were silent movies.
Wow.
There we go. There's Daddy, a piece of cake.
But they're basically doing the same things.
All right.
Yeah, that was when they probably had,
What about Mom?
what's that one, that big fat guy?
So something in my hair?
Froggy. No, Froggy was the guy with the deep voice.
What is it?
Later, I think. The guy with the froggy voice.
The Froggy Roy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make it.
These are so old, they look like old Charlie Chaplin.
Thanks.
Yeah, I always remember they said they found something one time. They thought they had a magic, something magical, so they tell.
Oh my goodness.
Or maybe it was Stein. He said, wish for something. He said, I wish I had a watermelon. I wish I had a watermelon. He said, wish for something big, man. I wish I had a big watermelon. I wish I had a big watermelon.
What, baby?
Because they don't have anything to plug it in.
Yeah, Aunt Janice doesn't really have anything like that, like technology at her house.
They're looking for low technology or high technology now.
Well, we're going up to Asheville to see my aunt, and also to go to Biltmore and go on a hike and just do all the Asheville stuff.
Wow.
And they want to bring the Xbox, and I said no.
Wow.
And you can play a game on my phone on the way up.
One.
Well, then you don't have to, honey.
Minecraft.
You have to go, you got to discover something called outside.
Yeah,
No.
that's what I wanted to say. The forest.
Oh, there's the, on the way, you know, they got the Carl Sandburg's house and they have the goats.
Oh. I haven't been there since I was little.
Yeah, you remember the goat? Oh, you probably remember the goats.
Is
I
that
guess
the
they
one
still
that
got
has those?
goats. I mean, I don't know.
Do they have those fainting goats?
They have what?
Do they have the fainting goats?
I don't know.
There's these goats that.
These were goats that Miss Sandberg used to raise goats and she used
Yeah.
to milk them.
Yeah, and make cheese and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's these goats called fainting goats, and if they get scared, they'll stiffen up and fall over. And it's really funny.
I heard that. In fact, somebody was telling me they had started buying some because their regular goats were getting out. So. Hello?
You want some cake?
No, but I'm going to get there. All right.
Let me make sure.
This is amazing.
What's that?
Pie cake.
I just wanted to make sure.
Pie cake?
Pie cake.
Very smart girl.
I bought a box of Devil's Food cake. I haven't used it yet.
Can I call you back in maybe 15, 20 minutes? Okay.
Like a giant Devil's Food cookie like Snack Wells has. A cake instead of a cookie.
That sounds wonderful.
The thought does.
Do you do much baking in your oven?
What?
Do you do much baking in your oven?
I don't use the oven.
Oh, well, how are you going to make those
I
cookies?
mean, all I have is a countertop. That's the oven, the countertop oven.
Yeah.
Make cornbread.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't tried to bake a cake. It looks like it's not big enough to bake a cake in. I have to make them smaller.
If you put the rack on the very bottom, it might work.
Might do that. I can't decide what to eat last, the applesauce or the beets.
Always finish with something sweet.
I got that.
Well, then go sweet, vinegar, then sweet again.
I had the horseradish. I'm just having a feast.
You really are.
Susan Ergel got us a list of camps in Columbia from 3 times this week. And one of them is Harry Potter camp.
Interesting.
You get to take all the classes that Harry Potter did. like the potions thing, and the animals thing, and
Oh my goodness.
it sounded one. It was Columbia College, wasn't it?
I don't
I
know.
think it was part of the theater department. But it just sounded terrific.
Yeah, no idea.
You gotta look at how old you gotta be to go, unless you wanted to go for yourself.
Sarah, how many people they take do we need?
Well, we're doing Camp Horseshoe, and then we're doing Wild Heart Farm Girl Camp.
What is that?
Oh, this wonderful, just witchy woman named Julie has purchased this beautiful farm out in the middle of nowhere in Prosperity, and she has horses and chickens and a little turkey and just all this land and a little barn where she does crafts and activities, and they wash the horses and they find eggs that the chickens have laid, and they pick vegetables out of the garden, and they learn how to do things like make homemade aprons, and they just learn how to be farm girls.
Is that in Prosperity?
Yes.
They learn how to be subservient to the men folks in their life.
Well, you can apply those skills in that way if you choose to. Or you can apply them to your life however you want.
Well, what would that say? You said, Sue, that a lot of those old farm women learn how to grow foxglove.
Yep. And digitalis.
He was doing fine. He just dropped over dead. I don't know what happened to him.
I was just trimming the oleander, and all of a sudden,
My grandmother, Floyd Mills, told us once that when she was younger, and her husband would wake up early in the morning to go milk the cows, and she would lay there in bed trying to sleep when she should be up and working, but she was just so tired. And then she'd hear his footsteps coming up the back steps, and she'd jump up and try to act like she was busy doing something. Up and at him.
yeah.
And that was all her life.
Sounds like he was a morning person, and she wasn't a morning person.
Well,
On a farm, you don't get a choice.
my other grandmother told me that she would love to go out and dance, but she's just too tired.
Oh my God, that's awful.
She worked in the mill all of her life.
Yeah.
And when Wayne says all your life, you got to remember
50
that life
years.
started sometimes when you were 8,
Right.
sometimes when you were 12.
Right.
She worked 50 years in the mill.
How old was she when she started?
So she didn't start until she was 12.
12.
Because I remember the day she retired. It was in 1962.
But
a lot of
She
They
was
had
62.
some kind of government passed something called the child labor law that said you couldn't go to work until you were such an age.
Yeah, they were outraged that the government would interfere with private business like that. There were lots of people who were. But even though they officially started when they were 12, a lot of them before then would go in to help older siblings who were working in the mill.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it. Good to see you, Wayne. We'll go back.
Henry?
See you later.
I'll see you later. Yeah.
Okay.
Pick 'em, Henry.
I'm gonna put the bunny on your dad's hand.
That's what we say. Sick 'em. The
So I guess living on the farm was very tiring for everyone. And some people just worked themselves until they were hurt or ill, and they didn't have much recourse then, or much to help them out at all,
Yeah.
except the neighbors.
Sure.
You have a couple of bad years and the bank takes your land.
Yeah.
Because you had to borrow to get the seed.
I guess a lot of those people in the country might have been pleased when the bank took their farms because they wouldn't have to maintain it anymore. No, there wouldn't have been that.
I don't know, Wayne. Sometimes that land had been in the family a long time.
Yeah.
I was reading a story about a family in the country, and I forget what state, but they said they were doing okay until the milk cow died, and then everything fell apart. Their entire lives were dependent on one milk cow. That's when they just left the farm, went to town.
Ron Rash has a book of poetry about the Eureka Mill, I think in Spartanburg County. I think that's where it is, either Spartanburg County or somewhere up around that area, about his family working there. And he has several poems in the book about people leaving the farm to go work in the mills and how sometimes it was better and sometimes it was worse. I'll let you borrow that one day. It's really good. I like his poetry better than his novels.
A lot of the folks who worked here were recruited from the mountains of North Carolina. You remember when the cotton crop didn't do so well because of the weevil? They went up there because people were losing their farms. They had to leave. And so they went up there and recruited mill workers. And so they came here. And that's the reason in Newberry for a long time you had different accents in different mill villages. Because they came from, a lot of folks came from that area in North Carolina. And that was sort of more the King's English from the 1700s, 1800s. Whereas the people who were from Newberry, we had been more in touch with modern civilization.
We were civilized.
We were more civilized. We've been in more communication with changes in the language than these people had because they were in pockets where the language hadn't changed.
Wasn't it a lot of mill workers from Whitfire came from Western Virginia?
Well, it was from areas up in Appalachia, up in the mountains in North Carolina. And so they hadn't had any outside communication much. They didn't have radio and that kind of stuff. They weren't on the railroad line. They hadn't had any interaction much with the outside world.
That was evident to me. I thought I'd discovered something between the difference of the people that I knew here in Newberry, and then I noticed that the people in Lawrence seemed to be much more mountain type.
Yeah. So you
And so
you
that
saw
was
it.
true.
Yeah. It depended on what area they were recruited from to work in the cotton mill.
And Newberry still does have its own very distinct accent.
And you know where I learned that? I wasn't as observant as Wayne. I was taking a class in linguistics at USC as part of the English education degree.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And I had a professor named Dr. Botte, B-O-E-T-T-E.
Okay.
And he said that there were linguists who came from out of state. When these people were recruited out of North Carolina, there were people who came from big universities and studied their speech back in the 1920s to record what the speech was like in the 16 and 1700s in England, because their speech had changed so little because they had been so isolated.
Wow.
Quickly before it changed.
Wow.
And Newberry was one of the places where they came. There were 3 or 4 other mills where they recruited from that area up in the Appalachian Mountains.
So how does the King George's importation of the Germans from Bavaria to South Carolina play into that.
I don't know. I don't know if they were as isolated way. This would have, as a matter of fact, he was saying it was almost like Shakespearean English.
I saw a movie called Songcatcher about a woman who lost her job.
I've read the book. It's beautiful.
The movie was good too until at the end it just kind of drifted off into the usual drama that you see in so many other movies. But it was about the woman who, she went, after her job loss, she went to the Appalachian Mountains, went up those ridge lines, and discovered people singing songs from old days, older than she knew of.
Now, the book that I read was about a country music singer.
Yeah.
That's the same?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And they had somebody in the movie that could sing those songs. Songcatcher.
It was, I remember it was a good book. It's old. I haven't read it. It must be an old. Is the movie new? Because the book I read a long time ago.
Oh.
Remember.
Well, it could be a very old book because it's a very old subject.
That's true. But anyway, that was back at USC in the 70s.
Wow.
And Wayne, it's interesting to me that Wayne figured it out on his own, and I lived here all my life, and I wouldn't have paid any attention.
There's an interesting video on YouTube if you want to find it at the library, but it's the volunteers and the people who operate the Globe Theatre in England, where you can still go and see like a Shakespeare play. They do it in the original dialect, which sounds totally different than like the British accent that you think about. And there's a video of it, of the people doing a demonstration of this dialect, and it sounds like another language. I mean, it's incredible.
Quite probably that dialect is based on some of the research that was done here.
I'm sure.
If you think about it.
Because how else would they know?
Because how else would
yeah.
they? Because I guarantee, I bet you.
Yeah. It is a fascinating video to listen to. It's just...
Would that be before the Normans? When the
No,
dialect-
this would be Shakespearean, so
Yeah.
that would be 400 years after the Normans.
Yeah.
It would be about the time that, the 1500s, about the time that people were first arriving here.
Yeah.
There must have been some mass migration to change a dialect at one time in England.
No, they had what they called, there were like 3 or 4 great vowel shifts, and they don't know why they happened.
Don't know.
Why they happened. It wasn't like an invasion or anything. It just, there was a vowel shift. It's like the vowels moved up, and they don't know why. It wasn't like an invasion or anything. It's,
Sometimes
the great vowel shift is.
when I hear the slang of the young people nowadays, I think it's shifting again.
Probably.
It might be.
Yeah.
But there's only one word that they know of in the Anglo-Saxon language heritage that has never changed from
Beard.
No.
What is it?
One word never changed pronunciation that they've been able to discern.
Table.
Nope.
God.
It starts with an F and it has 4 letters in it.
Oh my gosh.
And they study these things. It's like in Abelgard and all these very old poems. And the reason that they figure this is they use rhymes to figure out how pronunciations are. What rhymes with what in different old literature. And they go back and they look at what rhymes with what to decide how things were pronounced. And near rhymes and all that. And as near as they are able to determine, that's the only word that has never in any way changed pronunciation, even in all the great vowel shifts and everything.
Well, it's
never
a perfect
changed
word.
pronunciation.
It's so succinct in meaning and in, passion and when you say it, it
That
puts
is
an
according to Dr.
exclamation-
Body in
It puts
1973.
an exclamation point at the end of whatever you're saying. She's talking about the word feck, right?
Fire truck.
Yeah.
But when he said that in class that day, I'm thinking, you know, I'm going to be 97 years old in a nursing home someday, and this is going to be the only thing that I remember from my whole life.
The only true constant.
The only thing I will remember from all this time at the University of South Carolina, so there's going to be a little nurse's aide come in. I'm going to say, do you know the only word that has never changed pronunciation? And they're going to say, no, what is that? And I'm going to word it out. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
So,
I don't think you'll be sorry at all.
your education at USC wasn't totally garbage
wasn't
in.
totally a waste.
Wasn't totally garbage in and garbage out.
Nope.
It saved
This
something.
is one jewel.
This is valuable information.
One
I'm
jewel.
glad that I was able to get it from you.
This is
Glean the.
probably the, like I said, it may be the only thing that I don't forget of all that time there.
Munson, did you know about it?
Oh, about what?
The only word that's never changed through all the great vowel shifts in the history of the English language.
Anglo-Saxon language. And they do this based on what rhymes with what in very ancient poems, and they go back and look, you know, like the Abelard and whatever, and all these.
I was waiting on Munson to say, fuck if I know.
Now, who's the ancient Anglo-Saxon poem about the snick and the snack and that cut people's heads off and all that? You know,
I don't
the
know.
monster.
That makes me think of Jabberwocky.
No. This is further back. See, I can't remember the name of the great poem that they used to determine this. But
It's the F word.
Oh, is it?
The only one that has never changed pronunciation. The only one that they, based on all this ancient writing, that they think has never changed pronunciation.
Now you have a USC education too.
That's everything I remember.
Monty Python thing, you know.
That's everything I remember. I'm thinking that's the nugget that will stick with me no matter what. So, yeah.
We need to get up the
I
road.
use it frequently, and people will be able to tell immediately the part of your character or whatever.
Are you talking about that
The definition of the word.
the usage of the word?
It can be a noun, a verb.
We need to hit the road.
Okay, all right, we gotta get out of here. All right.
We're late. We're late already.
Go in the van.
I didn't finish the beats.
Ready to go in the truck.
You gotta finish the
Go
beats.
in the truck.
The beats are for you. Henry just sort of jumped in on top.
We're going.
When you said it needed pickles, I knew exactly
We're
what
gonna
you
play
meant.
with those in the car.
What's going
In the truck.
You're going in the truck?
We're going in the truck.
Oh my goodness. Of course you can take those. And that'll be good for you when you're outside and you can look at the flowers.
and the flowers and the grass.
It's only,
You're gonna go. You're gonna have
18 years old. I don't know.
I'm gonna say you can use those.
They want to go.
Get to cut us.
Y'all have a good time.
Bring
We're
my-
going up there. Wow, we're running late. Why don't you leave?
Go over here and grab.
Yes, I did. I said, remember to bring everything.
Oh yeah, I got
Nice.
this thing.